Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm going to start sharing my screen in just a second, and we'll go through the agenda. But just very quick introductions of a couple people who are on the call. My name is Jonathan Lightfoot. I'm the Economic Development Officer for the City of San Clemente. And we also have joining us today Mike Hill from Small Business Development Corporation. And then we have representatives from our Downtown Business Association as well as our chamber. And thanks to all the business owners and operators who are joining us today. We are going to post this recorded webinar onto our city website. So anyone who wasn't able to join, if you want to pass that information along to your peers in the city, and they'll be able to find that on our website. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into a screen share here and do a quick overview of our agenda for today. Hopefully you are all now seeing my agenda. If I could get a head nod from some of you. Okay, great. So we're going to start now with some introductions and polls, move into a quick presentation that I have on the city side about our Shop San Clemente First campaign, then transition to Mike's presentation about the different resources that the Small Business Development Corporation offers, the SBDC, and then finally we'll wrap up with any updates from our chamber. So I'm going to minimize this, and you're seeing the start of the presentation. But before we get into that, I'm going to briefly stop my share and get a quick poll from all of you. So I'm going to launch this poll that's a question about what business sector you are associated with. So if you're from retail, restaurant, etc., we'll go ahead and launch that. So you should be able to answer directly on your screen. That'll help us just see who all is joining us. Give it like 10 more seconds. Okay, and we'll end from there. So you should be seeing on your screen momentarily, I'm sharing those results, that we have some folks from retail, service, manufacturing, others going to probably be some nonprofits, or for instance, like the chamber representatives. And then I do know that we have several restaurant folks that will be joining us, so I'll be continuing to admit people to this meeting as they join. So I'm going to stop this one and jump into a second poll about online holiday spending. So there's two questions in this one. Launching that now. The first question is just let's see what you know. So according to Forbes, what percentage of retail holiday sales were done online in 2018? So 2 years ago, out of all of the holiday spending, how much of that was done online? And then the second question, once you're finished with that first one, is how much are online sales expected to grow this year? And this is citing an Adobe Analytics review that came out a couple of weeks ago. We'll give it like 10 more seconds. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end that polling and share the results. So for the first one, we had everyone moving towards that higher end, 20% through 50%. And in 2018, we were actually at about 15% of total holiday spending went to online retailers. And if you scroll down, again, we have people moving more in that high percentage options, 33% and 50%, and you all are right, 33% is the expected growth this year. So when you think of a couple of years ago that 15% of online sales, or sorry, that 15% of holiday shopping was done online, we're jumping massively up to about 25% plus of all online shopping this year for holidays. So thought those were some interesting tidbits to get us going. I'm going to go ahead and stop that sharing, transition into my presentation again. So okay. Hopefully you all can see that. So Shop San Clemente First is a web page that highlights our local businesses and connects consumers with San Clemente online shopping options. And we recognized in discussions between the city chamber and DBA that we have a challenge this year, that there's already a shift towards online spending, and traditionally that favors large national corporations. You think of Amazon, Best Buy, Target, and Walmart usually when you think about online presences for holiday spending. And with the pandemic, there's a lot of people assuming that that gap will only be exacerbated. As we just talked about through that poll, Adobe Analytics expects a 33% increase this year in the amount of online shopping. And notably, there's a good chunk of people polled that said that this would be the first season that they've done online shopping, that traditionally they prefer to be in person or at the physical store. And as we, again, talked about in the polling, that 15% of sales from 2018 is jumping to over 25% this year. So what can we do in discussing, again, between the city chamber and DBA? We wanted to think through some options to support our local businesses. And one of the main things, given those expectations of increased online activity, is to help our local businesses get online and direct more traffic towards them. So we have this initiative here, Shop San Clemente First, to create an easy platform to put local businesses in one place. The idea is to promote the platform with some social media marketing coming in the coming weeks, to engage our community partners, whether that's the SC Times or SC Life, other sources of news and information that we have locally. And then I'm also concurrently publishing a survey that'll actually go out today, and I'll share those results with our business community, where we'll get feedback from a few hundred members of the community that hopefully will let us know kind of what the pulse is on shopping in person versus online, and where they, if they do go online, where they like to find information about the stores in our community. So with this Shop San Clemente First program, we have a landing page that's associated with the city website, and you can see that here, a link, a friendly, user-friendly link on the left that's just in our city website, /shop SC. And on the right, you'll see the drop-down options that people will come to when they arrive on that landing page. When they click on that down arrow, it'll open up and you'll see the different options for shopping in San Clemente, and this list grows every day. I think we had about 40 people sign up in the first 24 hours, and so I expect this to continue to grow pretty quickly. And how we're currently formatting that is with the business name alphabetically, their website, a link to shop online, and then if they offer a gift card option, a link to that as well. When we get to the comments and questions at the very end, I would say that I'm open to suggestions, whether you want to bring those up now or contact me by email afterwards. This is our first effort at bringing this coordinated platform together for our community, and so I'm cognizant that this is our first run, and I'd love to get any feedback as we move forward. 1 second while I admit someone. Okay, great. So for the marketing component, as I mentioned, I do have a little bit of budget for economic development that I can use coming out of the CARES Act funds. And so we're going to put some of that towards a social campaign. So the DBA is going to be working with us on creating a logo for this campaign. And then we'll be focusing our attention on the local and driving distance market. So we'll have a press release and look for potentially an SC Times article that would come out right before Thanksgiving. I believe that's November 25th. And then look at some social marketing through Facebook and other avenues. And then, as I mentioned before, collaboration using existing platforms that the Chamber, DBA, and City already use. The photo on the right of the screen is an example of a virtual event that the City of Laguna Niguel did. And that may be one of the approaches that we take, is to, in addition to having the platform where you can have the different drop downs, to highlight, one of those sectors each week with a few different events, again, as just a way to have a constant reminder for our community to shop San Clemente First. The time frame for this program, the goal is for us to be launching the week of Thanksgiving so that we're on people's minds and radars before Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And so we are prepping in the background for that social campaign and press release by November 20th. And as I mentioned before, the SC Times publication date of November 25th is something that we're also targeting. So your next steps, if you have not already, is to register. So there's a link that's been sent out by myself as well as the Chamber and DBA. That long link is listed here. And on the right is what that will look like when you sign up. So there's some information at the top that explains the program, has my contact information if you see any issues. For instance, I was alerted today that someone's link wasn't working, so I'll be able to go back in and fix and address any of those things that come up. Feel free to reach out to me on that or on any other questions or comments. And then the information that we're filling out here is, again, your business category. If you don't fit into any of those, then there's an other option, and we have a drop down for that. And then your information. The contact email is not something that'll be shared. That's really just for my use if I have any questions or need to follow up on any part of the posting for your business. So our goal, in addition to having this platform, is to just bring attention to the importance of having an online presence this holiday season, and there's a lot of resources to help. Obviously, we have our DBA and Chamber representatives, and not only will they have some good suggestions, but they're also going to be connected to other members of those organizations that have resources, whether that's graphic design or website implementation. There's resources to be had locally. And on that topic, we're going to be doing a networking event coming soon. And I'm going to actually just call on one of our participants today just to give a quick sample of what that networking event may look like. And so, John, I know that you're on the call. I can see you. So if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself, I'm going to wrap up my screen sharing right now. And give us your elevator pitch of what you do, and that'll just be kind of a preview. We're going to send out some information in the future of another event to highlight some of those local services that can help with online services.
Okay.
So John, if you wouldn't mind just giving a quick elevator pitch of what you do.
Sure. I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, great. I've lived and worked in San Clemente for last 20 years or so, 25 years. I originally started working at Fisherman Restaurant and then kind of developed into my own little design agency from there. And I worked with the city of San Clemente. I worked with the Downtown Business Association probably like 15, 20 years ago. But currently, I'm just doing freelance work from my home office here in San Clemente, and I do web and front-end development. HTML, CSS, WordPress websites, Joomla websites, Drupal, UI, UX design. So any marketing materials, digital and print advertising, illustration. So even, presentations, pretty much anything marketing related. I was the art director at Irvine Company for 11 years and also a creative director at Exacta Media. So that's basically my background. And then I would like to try and help out or lend, any of my skills to try and get something like this off the ground. I just thought it was a great idea, and I'd love seeing, you trying to do something in order to help all the local businesses, during a pandemic. So I know it's challenging.
Well, thank you, John. Thanks for giving some background on yourself and the work that you do. And again, I think that we'll be looking to coordinate a follow-up event so that we can connect our local businesses to business owners and operators like you, John, who have services that could be really useful to them during this time. I'm going to drop real quick into the chat box as well a link. I mentioned before that there's a survey that we'll be sending out, and that's open to participation from anyone in the city. So if you want to take a look at that link there will be your registration, and so then you'll get to even participate if you're interested in that. We'll be doing a series of surveys over the next year on a variety of topics. This first one is going to be focused on local economic development and recovery from COVID. So that'll be going out soon, and then I'll be sharing the results of that with everyone. Transitioning now, we have Mike Hill, and so what I'm going to do is see if I can pin his video or spotlight his video so that everyone can see him. Hopefully he's showing up as a larger screen now. So Mike, if you can introduce yourself and then tell us about the SBDC and what resources you have.
Yeah, no, it's great. Thank you, Jonathan, and thanks for the opportunity. We really appreciate work with a lot of cities in South County, and so it's great to have a partnership with your organization and your city. So the SBDC, many of you know us. We're the Small Business Development Center. We are funded by an act of Congress through the Small Business Administration. So we're partially funded by the SBA, and we're also funded by the state of California, plus a handful of local partners, banks and chambers and cities, as a matter of fact. Our mission in life is to help grow small business. That's it. That's all we do all day long. And how do we do that? We do that in a variety of different ways. And we'll get into that in just a second. We'll talk about the resources. Today, I am down in Santa Ana at our center it's called the Digital Marketing Center, the Digital Media Center in Santa Ana, hosted by Santa Ana College. And at this facility, we do a lot of the tactical pieces that businesses can benefit from. For example, we'll do product photography. We'll help you with email campaigns. I'll talk a bit more about those resources in just a second. But we have 9 centers in the Orange County Inland Empire network. We have 120 plus consultants who are standing by to work with small businesses, again, for a single mission, and that's to help you grow your company. So we appreciate this opportunity. And you were talking about some statistics earlier, and we appreciate that, because what's a presentation without some statistics? So let's talk about that just for a second. Between November and January, $1.1 trillion. That's the number that is spent during the holiday season by consumers in consumerism. And the vast majority of that is going straight to retail. And 25 to 35% increase. You talked about that 33% increase this year. That's going to be very significant. We think it's going to be actually much higher than that, because this year, because of the pandemic, we're going to see a shopping season unlike any shopping season we've ever seen before. And in particular, that will be the online spend that consumers are going to push out during the holiday season. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So we kind of look at this as, the winter is coming because the shopping season is coming from November to January. Some of you are already ramped up and ready to roll, and some of you have a site, but maybe it's underperforming. Maybe you're not getting the sales conversions that you need. Maybe you're not getting the traffic that you need. That's one of our most important initiative, our top priority this holiday season, is to help retailers either build, grow, expand, or scale their online presence. That's our focus. And so we've really put a basket of programs and workshops and resources around making that happen for you. So let me talk a little bit about that for a second. First of all, San Clemente, this city, has done an amazing amount of programming through the years to really drive, people who commute. I live in Mission Viejo, and I get in my car and I drive. In fact, this weekend I was down at the outlets in San Clemente. But to drive traffic into your community, shoppers who will frequent your businesses and stimulate that economy. So events and concerts and the things that you all are doing. In an online world, we think a little bit differently. How do we drive traffic and how do we approach that? And so, Jonathan, I was really excited to hear about some of the virtual events that you're focusing on and looking at what Laguna Niguel is doing. Some of the other cities have tried some things as well that I think we can all learn from. There's a lot of innovation happening there in the online world. So we want to be a part of that. We want to promote that. We want to be really advocates for building that online presence. And so for us, what we think is going to happen is we think about 70% of consumers will spend the majority, of course not all, but the majority of their dollars this year online. And that's a bigger number than the numbers that people are talking about in this 25% roughly people spending online. 70% of people will be buying online. We think they're going to buy the majority of their holiday spend is going to be spent online. So that's what we're preparing for. So the services that we provide and how we help local businesses is our core is built on one-on-one consulting. So at our center in South County, we're hosted at Cal State Fullerton at our South County Center. We run 18 consultants out of there. All of them are entrepreneurs. Many of them are in the retail space. They have a restaurant, or they have a retail shop, or they have an online store, but they're all entrepreneurs. And we felt that was really important to have a relevant and germane conversation with you, the entrepreneur, to understand your struggles and the sacrifices that you go through. Really, truly, only another entrepreneur really can get that and really understand that. So we work one-on-one with businesses to, again, either start, grow, expand, or scale that business. That service is completely free. It's paid for by the grant. It's actually taxpayer dollars hard at work. I am paid, and all my consultants are paid through that grant. So when a business comes in for help with us, there's no charge ever for the work that we do. We also do a lot of training. We do a lot of workshops and webinars. In fact, this set that we're on right now is kind of our an initiative to rethink and reimagine how we deliver webinars. So they're more engaging, they're more interesting, and they have more of an impact to you, the attendee, the entrepreneur. And then finally, it's the resources that we bring to bear. So most people know the SBA or the SBDC because of our ability to help you with debt funding, to get an SBA loan. And so let me just talk about that for a second. So if you're a business and you're looking to expand, or you need to raise some additional capital, maybe the PPP or the EIDL funds weren't enough to help you, and you really need to make a push this holiday season and beyond, perhaps into the spring. So the SBA is a great place for small businesses to come to access capital. But what the SBA does is it underwrites loans. The banks still have to be, the bank is your partner. The bank's what's going to fund you. So what we do at our center at the SBDC is we will actually write the bank plan for you. Working with you, we will write that bank plan. We know what they're looking for. We know how to write these plans, and we have a very high success rate of getting those funded. So if you've tried to apply before and you're having some troubles, come on into the SBDC. Let us help you. We'll write that bank plan for you to secure that capital. But debt funding is only one area where we help. We work with a lot of cities. Jonathan, you were talking about the CARES Act money that was made available to cities to help their local business, stimulate those local businesses. We've worked with, I think, 19 cities now through grants that are getting distributed out to businesses. So we work with grants. We also help with angel and venture capital money. If that's something that you're going after, we'll get you investor ready, working on your decks and your value propositions and things like that. And then finally, we're going to help you with sales and marketing, really, because at the end of the day, money is super important for businesses today. How much free cash flow do you have? What do your reserves look like? And how long, can you last? Or when do you need to raise capital to get you through maybe to the next season? We can help you with that, really, the financial projections. But at the end of the day, what really matters and where we see the biggest impact is making sure that businesses are connecting with their customers in a modern and relevant way today, getting more traction. And so if we fix that and we get that right, usually the money piece kind of takes care of itself. So we spend a lot of our time and a lot of our focus, not just at a strategic level, but at a tactical level. Let me talk a little bit about what that means. We're going to work with you. So for example, we're talking about online presence today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at your website. We're going to look at your digital assets. And we're going to go through an audit. And we're going to see if they're optimized. Google's algorithm has changed thousands of times each year. And every time it's changed, it has an impact on your conversion. Now, sometimes those are really small, and sometimes those are much more significant. So what we want to do is take an audit and look at your site and make sure that it's optimized for the traffic and conversion of your customers. And there's still time to do that before the holiday season. It's really put you in a position. Now, there are some things that we'll have to start to get to work on. Like, for example, we can't get you on the first page of Google before Christmas. That's going to take 6 months, 12 months to really build that SEO strategy. But there are other things that we can do. We can fix, perhaps, we see this a lot with small businesses. They build a site and they load photography, and the photography slows down, the images slow down their site. Well, that has an impact. And that has an impact on not just the traffic that hits your site, but it has an impact on the conversion on your site. So we'll work with you, take a look at that. And if you need new photography, well, you can come on down here to the DMC with the consultant that works with you, schedule a time, and we'll put a photographer on your case, and we'll take some new product shots for you, and we'll get those loaded up into your site. Product photography. That's just one of the areas, one of the tactical pieces. But our goal is to build more traffic to your site. And when the traffic gets to your site, convert at a higher level so that you generate more revenue. And at the end of the day, we're going to really be focusing on your bottom line. What are your costs? How do we manage those costs? What does your supply chain look like? And can we break that down a little bit to make you more money? So that's kind of how we sort of umbrella, if you will, the services that we provide to local businesses. So this is a little word cloud that we put together to just talk about some of the things that we can help you with. It's not an exhaustive list. Our list is our capabilities are much, much stronger. But again, this is the most important thing for you to understand. When you come and work with the SBDC, whether it's through a training or a one-on-one, we never charge. It's always free. All these services that we offer, they're always free. And so partnering with San Clemente on the Shop San Clemente First, we think is fantastic. They are focused on helping you get more traffic, get more exposure to your online store in that community. And we can help you make sure that any traffic that's coming to your site is optimized, that it turns into a customer for you. So that's really our role in all this and how we see this partnership working out. And we'd love to help you and be a part of that. This is our phone number and there's our website and you can log in there. We have a lot of programs going on. I'll just highlight one and then turn this back over to you, Jonathan. We have a program right now called Webify. It's broken down into 3 cohorts. The first is for businesses that do not have an online presence. We're going to teach, in fact, we're in the middle of that right now. We have about 50 businesses going through it. We're teaching them showing them and actually doing it, building that online site and making sure it's built correctly. The second piece of that is our growth module. So once you have an online store and you're doing some sales, and many of you are looking at your business and you go, man, we should be doing so much more with our online store. We agree, and we're going to help you get there. And in the second cohort, which starts in a couple of weeks, it's a 2-week program. It's super intense, but we will show you the kind of the hacks and the tricks. How do you grow that online presence, and how do you do it cost effectively? How do you make sure that your dollars are, $1 of advertising turns into $3 of revenue? That's what we're really going to focus on. And then we have a back end piece, about 3 weeks of a third cohort that focuses on scaling your business. So let's say you're doing some online sales, but you really want to look at like affiliates or sales organizations to take your product and maybe expand it beyond local or regional, perhaps national or international. So we're going to help you with that. What does the scaling look like? How do you ramp up? What kind of capital do you need? Who are the partners and resources that you need to access to really, because as an entrepreneur right now, you're wearing 17 hats, you got 15 balls in the air and you can't figure out, where do I get more bandwidth? That's what we're here for. We're going to help you do that. Our entrepreneurs, the business owners that are part of the SBDC, that's what they've done. That's where they've been. And so we can have and share that experience with you. So Jonathan, that's all I've got. I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about what we're doing and super excited to be a part of Shop San Clemente First. And any way we can help, we're here to do it.
Okay, unmute myself there. And then I'm going to jump back over to a quick share screen. So I dropped into the comment box the website for the SBDC, and then you can pretty easily find their program section. And so here's some more just a visual of that Webify program that we were just talking about. So it has an overview, the different program benefits, etc. And then I'll relay any information that I get from Mike on the upcoming opportunities for that program. And I just want to highlight one other thing that was that's a related program, because the SBDC in our area was doing such a good program with this online Webify option. The state is kind of following their lead, and so there's a digital boot camp that they're launching as well. It started this week, so there was a session. The first cohort started Monday. Second one was today, this morning, but there's a couple more that are still yet to be started. So I'm going to drop this registration link into our chat box as well, so that you can see that resource. So I'll end the sharing and drop that link in for anyone who wants to pursue that any further. Thanks so much, Mike, for joining us today and giving the background on SBDC. And now I want to transition over to our partners with the DBA and the Chamber. So let's start with Julie at the DBA. And if you could just give us an update, Julie, on anything going on your end.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julie. I'm the marketing director over at the DBA. We have 2 programs that we are working on for the holidays to try to boost sales and boost traffic downtown and to all San Clemente businesses. One of them that you may have seen on social media is our $1,000 holiday raffle. So we're raffling off $1,000 generously donated by 3 local businesses. It runs till December 1st, and you can buy tickets online at our website, info or scdba.org. The tickets are $10. So there will be 20 different winners. 19 people will win different amounts of $50 gift cards to local restaurants. So your chances of winning something are really good. So you'll see that on social media, and you'll see posters around town and in businesses. So we hope that you'll participate in that. The proceeds from that just benefit our efforts to help boost local commerce. The other thing that is coming up will be on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's called Shop Small Saturday. And we're going to be raffling off on that day. If you make a purchase in one of our member shops, you get to put your name in a hat, and then at the end of the day, we make a drawing from those, and you can win some Apple AirPods like these. So, you know, we're just always trying to find ways to get more people out and shopping and spending in San Clemente, and we really appreciate Jonathan and all his amazing efforts. And I'm wishing I would have known about you, Mike, when I had my e-commerce store. I could have used all your insights. So it's great meeting you, and I'm here for you. If anybody has ideas or wants any support, you know, just give us a call.
Thank you, Julie. And now if I can transition over to either Arlen or Susie, or both of you, if you want to talk about any current happenings with the Chamber.
Sure, I'll start. Arlen Flores, the operations manager at the Chamber. And something that we have going on right now is our restaurant weeks, which started on November 1st and it goes till November 15th. And it's in lieu of our Taste of San Clemente that we have annually. We are promoting our member restaurants with different promotions that they have going on, either for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or our dessert members. So that's on our website, schamber.com. It's also on our social media, Facebook, Instagram. So yeah, we have that going on. Something that we're putting together is a Thanksgiving guide for our Chamber members. So it's anything from our members, whether people are looking for like an early coffee, you know, before they start, you know, preparing their Thanksgiving dinner, or, you know, they need something from a grocery store, or, you know, they forgot to pick up, you know, dessert, or they burn their dessert. We'll have a list of our members, their hours of operation for Thanksgiving Day, and the contact number. And that's something that we're working on. And then Susie's going to talk about a networking event that we have coming up.
Yeah, so hi everyone. In addition to the programs for the restaurants, with that focus that Arlen mentioned, we're also keeping up with networking through Zoom. So we have a networking blitz that's next week on the 18th at 11:30 a.m. Chamber members and potential members are all invited to join. So if you would like to do so, you can contact our chamber and just check out our website, schamber.com, and you can sign up there or reach out to us via email, and we can gladly sign you up. So those have been going actually really, really well. And then I just wanted to remind, you know, for anyone who's a chamber member, one of the benefits right now is we're sharing your posts on our social platforms. So we do a great job of that. So if you're not yet a member and you're interested, you know, you can connect with us as well. But right now we're just trying to support everyone, just like Jonathan here at the city and Julie at the DBA. Anything we can do to help you guys, let us know.
Thank you so much. So we've kind of hit all of the agenda topics for today, but I do want to take a second to see if we have any questions from the group. So we have some time remaining, and I'd be happy to field any questions or hear any initial feedback, comments as well. As hopefully you've gathered today, we are open to putting some time and effort into different programs that would be beneficial to our business community. So if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to entertain those now. Just make sure to unmute yourself before raising your question.
Jonathan, this is David Pierce. I just want to thank you all for doing this. I'm a fairly recent arrival in San Clemente. I retired after years in the Foreign Service. I have a small art business with 2 online sites, so this is a very big help for me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, David.
I'd love to know what your sites are.
Well, one of them is daviddpierce.com, and that is an online site for original artwork, mainly watercolors, but I also have a blog and a newsletter that I run out of that site. And in addition, I have a site for fine art prints, which is on an online gallery called Geo Galleries. So the site is Geo Galleries, GALLERIES.com/DD Pierce PEARCE .com. So one is a fine art site, print site, and I have a lot of my images up there with print offerings in many different formats. And the other one is just for original artworks.
Great, sounds great. I'll check it out.
I also have on my site a lot of social media sites. I have quite a few followers on Twitter, but also some on Instagram and LinkedIn as well.
Great. Thank you, David. I'm going to drop in to the chat real quick my direct email address. So if there are any other questions or comments that don't get raised right now, feel free to send those my way. And again, we're open to new ideas and recommendations as well. So feel free to reach out to me in that way. But we'll just open the floor one more time, see if there's any final questions or thoughts, and go from there. Julie.
I have a question. If businesses want to contact Mike at his agency, what's the best email? Or do they just go to the website and then click contact? Or what does he think is the best way for people to contact him who want to take advantage of his services?
Sure. Mike had to drop off, but what I would recommend is if you go to the website, there's actually an instant pop-up. So they have people who are able to chat directly with you on their website. And then there's also something that I've done, and I recommend this as well. This is how I came across the Webify program. You can just enter your email address for updates on any new programs they have. And as with anyone, some of them will be applicable to you and some of them may not, but that's how I caught the Webify program that I thought would be really valuable for a lot of our businesses. And then each, as he mentioned, they have about 15 to 20 consultants on staff, and they'll have different people that take the lead on those different programs. So once you jump into the program that interests you, you'll find the specific person that is going to be the liaison for that particular effort. Okay, hearing no further questions or comments, thank you everyone so much for joining today. Again, feel free to reach out to me at the city and we'll continue to try to come up with new and creative ways to be supportive. Until then, happy holidays. Bye everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you, Jonathan.